Okay, take a look at this pie, and let's take a look at what it's asking. It says about how much of the pie has been eaten, and I'm going to go ahead and give you an idea. It wants to know a percentage. Okay, so a percentage of what's been eaten. What do we let me? Okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and. So when we talk about a percentage of this, I can start to think if this is the whole pie, how much percent is the whole pie? 100%? Okay. So I want you to think how much of the pie has been eaten. And if you want to write it down like on your whiteboard, both you and your partner both give a guess, and let's see who can get the closest. As you think, I want to kind of hear, and I want you to tell your teacher what your rationale is or what your reasoning is. Are you just going to guess, or are you going to think it out a little bit? And let me give you a little bit of thinking tools here. I don't think I have a. Ooh, snap. Okay, so I do have a protractor here. Now, if I move it, I don't think I can move it. I can make it smaller here, which is interesting, but how much of that pie has been eaten? The method I like to use when I'm looking at a circle graph kind of idea, if I cut this in half, isn't this 50 and 50? Correct? Right? So we can tell this is less than 50, right? Because 50 would be all of this, and that's not the case. So think of it that way. We can also say, I cut it this way, and I cut it this way. Aren't these all going to be 25%? Okay. So go ahead and take a look at this and see, what are you thinking? What are we thinking here with this one? Now, give a guess, and I'm going to show you a video real quick of what the real answer is. And let me go ahead and pull that video up. All right, so let's go ahead and reveal. It has a protractor. It's going to tell you the degrees. That's what the protractor does. And then it'll tell you the percent. Start here. So 20%. Who got closest to 20%? That's a good guess. All right, let's do one more. These are kind of fun to me. So let's do day 13. All right, look at this one. How much of the pie has been eaten? Use that same method if you want. If we were to cut this in half here, all of this is missing. So why don't you give a guess, write it on your whiteboard, and let's see the reveal. All right, let's take a look. Mr. Music, push play. There we go. All right. It's going to keep going. Almost 60%, 59.2%. That's pretty exact. Very cool. All right, I don't know if there's another one. Let's just take a look. All right, now let's do this one. How much of this pie has been eaten? Take into account there's a lot of the pie that's gone. So how much of the pie has been eaten? Why don't you write your guess on the whiteboard? Wow, 88.6%. 88.6. Okay. Just cool little estimation activity. I like these so you can start to think about what's going on here. All right, now at this time, I need you guys to get your whiteboards out, and I'm gonna mix it up now. I'm gonna have B start. It's always A starting. I'm gonna have B start, and A is gonna have to talk. A is gonna have to use the calculator. So if you could have your computers opened and the calculator up, I'm gonna have the calculator up as well. And let's make sure we know what we're doing when we're using the calculator. Okay, let me put this down a little bit. So I have eventually at the end of this class period, the last part of class, it's going to be a Jeopardy. So let me show you. you're going to be doing a Jeopardy. But some of these questions, let me show you. There's quite a few questions here. You're going to be doing questions like this, okay? All right, let me exit out of here. Questions like this, okay? And then these ones we're going to go over. What's different about these ones? Oh, there's decimals involved. No big deal. You're doing the same steps, but you're just using decimals. And what are you going to use the whole time? Your calculator. I do have a couple old exponent problems in here too. Okay, so that'll be towards the end of class. Now, let's go ahead and talk about, I'm going to keep this calculator here. It'll come back and forth, but I want you guys working. So A, get that calculator in front of you and you're going to talk it out. First problem. Let's start you guys off pretty easy. Let's just go 8 squared plus x squared. A, you're writing this down. Or actually, no, excuse me. B, you're writing this down. My bad. All right, go ahead and write it down on your whiteboard and look at your partner and say, what do I do? All right, so hopefully the calculator is going to be involved. We're going to go ahead and go 8 squared. See how I can do that very fast? And I should know that's 64. I know this. That's going to be 64 plus x squared equals, now 17 squared is one that I do not know offhand, even though I kind of should, being a math teacher for so long. 17 squared is 289. So put that to the side. 289. Sorry. Okay. Now you should have told your partner, move the constant over. Move the constant over. Okay? I want to hear these words because we're going to do a heads up activity tomorrow and you have to know what these vocabulary words mean. So now with your calculator, A, you could have gone 289 minus 64 to make sure you're exact. And guys, take a look at my calculator. It's 225. Ooh, this is going to be a perfect one. And then I can hit this button here, square root. And instead of hitting 225 in again, I can just hit the answer. And this ANS will tell you the answer from the previous one. So there it is. All right. So what did I do again? I typed in, and this is 15. The answer is 15. Okay. So the answer is going to be 15. But it's kind of cool the way I said it. Didn't I tell you to put the answer in? I told you to type the answer, right? So when you really look at this, if you could see it, you see my van sign. I'm going to have fun here. So really, what you're supposed to do at the end, if you want to, you can go my van sign and put the answer in there. So doesn't it really become a van sign? Pretty sweet. I know. I love it. All right. Next problem, switch roles. Let's go. So the next problem, let's spice it up a little bit each time as we go. Here we go. Who's writing now? A writes, B talks. All right, let's go. 7 squared plus x squared equals 13 squared. Go ahead and solve this for me, please. And if you take a look, you're going to have 13 squared eventually minus 7 squared. All right, you get your answer there. And then you're going to get the square root of the answer, which is going to be 120. Ooh, 10.95. 10.95. So if you didn't see what I did there, I made this 49 and 169 and an x squared. Then I had to move my constant over, and I got 120. And then I square rooted both sides, and x equals 10.95. What have we been rounding to, though? This one's actually kind of tough because you can't. You could have said it's 11.0. That kind of would that's acceptable. Both these answers are acceptable. Okay. It is kind of tough when you want to bump it up a full number value. I got what you said. If this is 5 or more, we raise a score, but that turns it to 0 to 10, and that 1 comes over here. Kind of confusing, but it's all good. Hopefully you got that right. All right, let's kick it up a notch. Let's keep it going. If I was to give you one that's okay, let's just do a combined like term 1. So again, who's ready now? B and then A. And I said 8 squared plus, we're going to go a little faster here, guys. 17 squared equals x squared. Go for it, guys. Push pause, Miss Alonzo. All right. 64, right? And then plus 289. Come on. Screen likes to get it. Plus 289 equals x squared, right? And then what happens when you add these together? 64. Use your calculator if you need it. All right. You're going to get 353 equals x squared. Then square root both sides. Now, what should I have heard in this term or in this idea? This is going to be combined like terms, right? Combined like terms. And then square root it. I get 18.78. But what does that turn into? 18.8. Okay. All right. Let's do another one. A's writing. B's talking. Let's go fast. 14 squared plus 22 squared equals x squared. Go ahead and solve this for me. And then you're going to get 680 as you combine like terms. Okay. Then square root 680. I get 26.07. Can I bump that up? 26.1. There's my answer. Okay. Now let's give you the little spiciness here. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to give you problems that you are going to for sure need your calculator for, but they're going to be with decimals involved in your sides. So let's go ahead and go, here you go. You're going to go 3.6 squared. All right, write this down. Plus, let's say, x squared equals 7.4 squared. Don't worry. Go ahead and just do the math, all right? The same way you would. Go ahead and try to solve this with your calculator. Do the best you can. You don't need my help. All right, then okay. So then I have these decimals. If you got here, great. Keep it going. Then what are you going to do? Let's go ahead and move our constants to the right. And when you do that subtraction, you get 41.8. And what's your last step? Square root it. And x is going to equal 6.46, which turns into 6.5. Okay. Very cool, very cool, very cool. That was not as tough as you think it is, all right? But I want to see the work. I want to see your work. All right, let's do one more. All right, let's do one. 6.5 squared plus x squared equals 9.9 squared. All right, try these ones out. Again, you can do this. Don't limit yourself. You got this. All right, then you're going to subtract your constant. All right, so this is good equation skills too, right? It's good to brush up your equation skills. All right, and then square root it. Which equals 7.5. All right, you guys, go ahead and get that sheet. You're going to be writing on the paper for your Jeopardy. I want all of your work on the paper. I want to collect that paper tomorrow to give you credit. All right, so go ahead and get that paper to me tomorrow for full credit, for homework credit, classwork / homework credit. I'm going to put in the grade book. All right, guys, great job today.